Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today I'm going to be playing some more Mask of the Rose. Interestingly, when I stopped the last recording, I kind of exited here, kind of assuming at the end of the day that would be a good place for it to autosave. It didn't. It went right back to before we went to interview the Landaus, so I've had to replay all of that. I think I went for more or less the same options, so I'm hopeful that not too much would have changed for you guys, if anything. But we're going to pick it up here now. It's the next day, day 261 since the fall. Let's carry on. Another morning, another newspaper. This morning's lies open on the table. Masters announce increased biscuit rations for hungry Londoners. Very exciting. We like biscuits in London. Do I want to build another story? This says it won't cause time to pass, but that makes me think if I recall the past, it will. Let's see what it wants me to do. Offer Archie stories about the Masters that might shock the ordinary Londoner. Okay, well, we don't know much at the moment, do we? I mean, those two are locked, so it's something they're doing that Londoners don't know about. Okay, well, we'll keep that open for now. What are we wearing at the moment? We're going to do more census stuff, so let's just keep that on for now. I don't want to be grumpy, so I'm not going to wear the hat. Okay, let's recall the past. I remember the days of the fall in fragments. There are a few moments that I'm always drawn back to, memories that stand for everything else that happened. There are things I sometimes remember from that night that cannot have happened, impossible things. If I concentrate, I can recall... let's recall Lucian, because that's Constable Harjett's partner that's been lost ever since. It wasn't the night of the fall, it was a little earlier, when we were still on the surface. Just a few days before. I saw a party of drunk men, most older and quite distinguished, but accompanied by a younger officer. He was the most drunk of all, but he kept talking about warning everyone. Ooh. He was obsessed with some grotesque impending disaster. So this is interesting, because there was a suggestion in the last episode that the officials, the authorities, were aware of something was happening because the palace had sent out all the riders to warn people to take shelter. And it sounds like the police were aware as well. So the question is how they were aware. What disaster? Something to do with theft and darkness. I can't recall now. A conversation half overheard, half a street away. But the end is that the other men got tired of his insistences and his drunkenness. So they hoisted him under his arms and carried him half resisting into one of the houses across the street from Chapman's, that's where we lodge. That is, into a house that is no longer there. Well, let's head outside. Maybe we should talk to Harjett about that. What's this? The bazaar. Oh, that's where Pages is. Okay. We've got the Landau's townhouse, maybe something to do with Grizz getting an introduction. Ooh, the boarding house. Oh, okay, these are all the actions we can take here. Continue my seduction of Archie. We will do that. I'd kind of like to take the census with Horatia and pay her back half of what I owe her. Let's do that. It's one of our objectives, isn't it? That's fine. I find Horatia in the basement, taking inventory of our supplies. The night London fell, all Horatia's lodgers gathered in the cellar. Horatia led the hymns while we waited for dawn. Around 3 in the afternoon, we admitted to ourselves that there wasn't going to be a dawn today or any other day. Hello there. I trust you're keeping fed? Since the fall, we've all taken to greeting one another as invalids on the verge of death. The badge makes clear I'm here for business, not for conversation. Let's give us some rent. Maybe we can do the census as well. I believe I owe you something, as a matter of fact. I pass her the coins in a jingling handful.
Oh, thank you. You're a kind soul.
She scoops the money into the pocket of her skirt. Okay, can we continue talking to her? Well, if it was half what we owe her, I assume it's another 5. Brush over that topic. I want to get to the census. Okay.
There's something I need for dinner, if you'd be willing to go.
She'll have to tell me her route to the market if I agree to go. Agree flirtatiously. We are Professor Flirty. Everything is flirtatious. Well, since you ask. She rummages in a corner and returns with an assemblage of empty jars, which she piles into a bag for me.
Take them to the market and get them filled, as many as you can. Oil first, then solids, whatever they've got. Don't let them sell you more than 1 jar of cricket flour. We can use it, but we don't go through much. As for the purple mushrooms, make sure they're dead. Don't accept the live ones.
How will I know?
If it jumps out of the jar, it's not dead. Of course, none of that's any good if you can't find your way there. I always go to the corner with the red-handled pump. Then count 20 and turn left and go straight ahead without looking back. You wind up somewhere else entirely if you look back.
This is weird, isn't it? Hogs Lane Market. Did we not know where this was? I tell you what, I think Rachel did tell me where it was, but in my replay, I don't remember her giving me the map. Obviously, I'd made a different response to something, but we know where it is now, so that's good. I want to census you. Oh well. The trip takes a long time. Half the stalls are already empty. Half of the remaining stalls are not offering anything we'd want. But I finish Horatia's commission in the end. And I know my way to the market now. There's time to run another errand before supper. Action. Advertised lodgings. Okay. I'd quite like... So that's the market. I'd quite like to talk to Harjit. Yeah. Let's talk to him about this. I'm going to wear the badge this time. That's fine. Hello. Recount my memory of Lucien. I tell Harjit the story of what I saw when Lucien was drunk. Tell me everything. Was he angry? Hurt? Did he strike anyone? Could you hear who it was he wanted to warn? I explain everything I can. Then he's beyond my help, beyond reach. Oh dear. You remember things I've forgotten. The building might still be there if approached rightly. Sometimes one can find one's way around the fold, but it's hard to find places I never saw in the first place. We're flirty, we're not necessarily going to assault people in the street, so we're going to show a flirtatious interest. I'm listening. Do you mean to fluster me when you say things like that? I don't have to continue. I didn't say you should stop. No one speaks for a moment. From a certain point of view, I am one of Lucien's personal effects. A thing that should not be here if he did not exist. A thing that might be edited out of the Neath in time. I think when I forget him, I will also vanish. We're going to express doubt? I'm not certain that's an inevitable conclusion. I believe it. The thought comes back to me over and over. I dread the thought of being swept away. Would you cease to exist? Die? Or only go back to the surface? There are stories in the newspaper. Apocryphal or not, I don't know. Of people who, after a period in the Neath, found themselves walking in some sunlit field above. Maybe I would be in the Punjab again, back among my own people. They say Duleep Singh has gone back there. With London gone and the Queen fallen below, there was nothing to prevent him from returning to Lahore. Perhaps he is even now restoring our empire to its former state. So you want to go back? A few months ago I wanted nothing more. But my love for Lucien was also so imperative. If the cost of my homecoming was to forget him, I am not sure I could have brought myself to do it. Find out whether our relationship has made the difference. And now? Now my heart has strayed. I am a little ashamed of this, but it is true. I would be glad to set aside his memory, and sorry to leave the Neath. Sorry, my daughters and wife have just left the house, and my little dachshund, you can probably hear howling behind me, but I'll pause a little bit while he settles down. Though perhaps I would not remember what I had lost. I mean so much to you. Does it need to be said? We've spoken twice. Do we want to kiss him yet? I don't know. We can ask him about some new destinations. Ooh. How about the Devil's Townhouse? Have you seen any devils? If by that you mean the people with yellow eyes. Yes. They have taken over a townhouse that way. He points out a direction. You can see them coming and going sometimes, and the occasional vicar standing outside to stare in. So we walk together, and every few moments Harjit stops to point out a landmark. Or draw my attention to the places where the air smells different, or the sound of church bells can be heard. Devil's Townhouse. They say this place is inhabited by devils, or alternatively people with yellow eyes and a warm handshake. Harjit takes a look at the devil's doorstep and raises his eyebrows. It's plain he has no taste for this company, so I say goodbye and go on alone. Their door knocker is made of brass, unreasonably warm brass, and it is shaped like the head of a goat. The attendant is human enough, but she refuses to answer any questions. I wait in a very old-fashioned wooden chair. I keep feeling that the armrests are nipping at my wrists. I'm invited inside at last. Oh.
A member of the constabulary. We do not require your assistance. Milton will see you out.
Your eye for detail has failed you, Virginia. Our visitor wears the badge of the Ministry of Accounting and Reaccounting. I collect this is some official errand.
Be friendly. Delighted to meet you. You must permit me to introduce myself. Flirty.
I go by Milton. I dislike forenames.
You may address me as Virginia, or Mom.
And may I say the decorations are enchanting. I've never been able to get my crockery to whisper to me. They both fall extremely still. I'm not sure that they breathe. I explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the Census. You know that the Ministry has sent me to work on the census. Their work is vital for London.
You may have mistaken your authority. The masters do not direct us. It will not take long. We are in the middle of a delicate matter.
Come now, Virginia. Wouldn't you find it entertaining to learn what the masters are asking? I admit a significant curiosity. Just what does the Ministry hope to learn about you and me that it doesn't already know?
Then ask and be prompt, Flirty.
Well, I'm going to ask and be flirty.
And if this proves a waste of our time, Milton, you will owe me your good hunting horn.
Use the question as a chance to flirt. What sort of household do you keep, and does it need any additional members, eh?
I reside alone.
You have servants.
Yes, I do. Several. I'd assume that they would not be counted as persons. You must trust me on this sort of thing, Virginia. I have had more time to learn London's customs.
And you frequently entertain overnight visitors.
Never for very long.
I have a maidservant, a housekeeper, and 3 drones.
A footman.
Yes, footman.
Simply ask about his romantic involvements. Do you have any lovers, spouses, friendly barmaids?
Ah, yes, an interesting question. Several persons have believed themselves to be romantically attached to me. Will that do?
You're not engaged to any of them?
No, of course not.
And not married. That I can safely rule out.
Yeah, definitely not married.
I turned my senseless curiosity on Virginia. Virginia's a fine name, fashionable. I know 3 or 4 ladies of that name.
One tries to accommodate the local culture. That is, one tries until it becomes too much bother.
Our friend implies that the name does not distinguish you from the common or garden variety, Virginia. It might benefit from a poetic epithet. Amber-eyed Virginia, for instance. London poets have a taste for that sort of thing. Brass-shod Virginia. You must ensure that it scans.
Do not write that down.
Virginia of the cloven hoof?
Definitely not.
Pity.
I turned my senseless curiosity back on Virginia. Ask about her affairs of the heart. Are you in love? Do you keep your beloved's heart in a jewelled coffer?
I have no romantic involvements that you need to report to your employers.
For a moment, no one speaks. Ask Milton about his work. Respond with protective kindness. Oh, there's nothing for you to worry about. No doubt you employ yourself in a variety of interesting ways.
I am a gentleman of leisure, though I have devoted myself to the cultivation of the arts. Do visit our little consulate again sometime, Flirty.
Horatio will be setting out the food now. God, the days do go quick, don't they? I'll say at this point that since the first episode, I've learned that the Failbetter Games, the developers, are working on a patch that's going to slow down the passage of time a bit in the game, because a lot of the complaints that people have made in the Steam reviews is that it just progresses very, very fast, too fast to really delve down into a lot of the details within the game. I think probably because the game is quite short, apparently. I think this playthrough will probably take place before those. But what I might do is leave a replay until after that patch has landed, and then then we'll be able to see the difference in the time progression, time management stuff. So yeah, okay. So I'll go straight to the dinner table, I suppose.
I suppose you've heard the news.
Ask what's happened. Which news is that?
The Masters have received word from the surface. The rest of the world is all still there. The remains of England, France, all the rest as it was. Only London was abstracted. There are crates and crates of mail from the world above. They're going out to London now as we speak.
Joke about the likely price of stamps. I can only imagine what the price of stamps will be if we're to send letters back to the world above.
Oh, perhaps in place of the Queen's head they will bear the silhouette of Mr... I suppose it would likely be Mr. Page's. None of the other masters seem especially concerned with epistolary pursuits. Archie, did you hear?
I did at that.
So it's true?
I mean to get a seat on the next mail coach that goes above.
I'm not sure that the mail came by coach, and it certainly did not come by train.
Aye, well, however it came, I mean to go back that road.
Ask how soon we can expect to be rescued. At last, when do you think the rescue operations will begin? Will it be possible to winch the city back up to the surface, or will they bring us out one by one with our possessions?
I did ask Mr. Pages whether we expect to return, but he hasn't answered me yet. I very much had the impression that, well, that the Masters don't expect London to leave the Neath.
It's a mite heavy to lift out. But I'll not mind if it's left down here to moulder, so long as the rest of us get back to daylight.
Look, Mr. Pages sent us all a gift.
She takes out a package wrapped in brown paper and string and sets it down on the table. Inside are half a dozen fresh pork and apple sausages.
Better than Christmas, love. Thank you, Mr. Pages, for us. Now I'll make them up for Sunday lunch.
Join in Horatia's thanks, sure. Yes, thank you. And Mr. Pages.
You don't suppose Mr. Pages does a line in red pudding?
It is Mr. Hart's who has been arranging the import of surface meats. But I don't think Mr. Hart's would consider a red pudding a very suitable gift.
How many masters are there, then?
I have only seen the census pages for a few of them. Keep quiet and eat, I suppose. I chew diligently. The first few days weren't bad. People had food in their pantries still. Old loaves of bread, leftover joints, roots and jams. But nothing new was coming into the markets. No new fish, no vegetables from the farms. We finish eating. Okay, let's have a little review of the day. So I need to save up 5 more pennies. I've only got 1 at the moment. Bring Archie theories about the ministry. I'm probably going to go back, maybe get a couple more census pages and then go back to Mr. Pages. Set out the Landells with Grizz in tow, maybe? Deliver the... I don't know if I'll bother pursuing that, to be honest. Census pages. Okay. So Milton was already here, wasn't he? Things are heating up between me and Milton. "262 days since the fall. 4 days remain in the season of confessions." Well, that day was pretty quick, so I think we'll do another one. For once, I know just what I'll see in the paper. Contact achieved with the surface of the Earth. Travel possible via Z route. I don't know what Z route is. Oh no, it's probably C, because I did play a little bit of Sunless, just a tiny bit, and I remember it's called like Undersee or Untersee or something like that. So I think it's German for sea. Mail collected from above. It goes on and on like this. I spend a good part of the morning devouring the pages. There are hardly any pictures. It's too early for illustrations. Nonetheless, the paper's correspondents paint a vivid picture of the perilous travel back to the environs of Italy. Interesting. Right, then it's saving. I haven't got very many outfits, have I? So I think I'll just keep wearing what I'm wearing. Let's head outside again. So we got the Devil's Townhouse. Okay, no, we're not going to do that yet. In the market... We might do the market again when I actually have a bit more money, perhaps. Landells... I suppose we could do that. I haven't done Horatia yet with the census. Let's do that. It's an easy census page, that, isn't it? I think we'll just keep this on. I find Horatia in the basement taking inventory of our supplies. I am indebted to Horatia. Since the fall, I haven't always had the funds to pay for my room and board. She provided for me anyway. If there's anything to eat, I'm always welcome to join the other lodgers. She's never said a word in front of the other guests.
Good morning, Flirty.
Explain that I'm working for the Ministry on the census. The Ministry of Accounting and Recounting have asked me to work on the census.
I see.
Use the question as a chance to flirt. What was your romantic life like then, Horatia?
Oh, the butcher at the corner asked me a few times to be his wife. I couldn't say I was tempted. He had 7 children from his marriage before. I believe he was more attracted to the extra rooms in my house than to me. There's a woman who comes to the door just about every morning. Too many children and not enough food. Sometimes I have a penny or some old stew for her.
I suggest the masters might help. Why can't she get something from the masters?
The master's food is sold, not given. And they only give enough food for 2 or 3 people at a time.
Comfort Horatia. These things are never easy.
Usually I at least look her in the eye, even though I have nothing to give. But I'm not sure. Does that only make things worse?
Flirt with Horatia. There is some connection between us. Natural understanding, I think.
I think something's gone wrong with my senses. Eyesight and hearing were well enough yesterday. Now they're making you say and do things you wouldn't.
My business is done. I'd best go tidy the parlour. I'm in no hurry to change what we are now. I shake my head to clear it. The ruminations are gone. All is as it was. Judging by the clock, I can afford another errand today. God, it does go quick, doesn't it? Yeah, I can see what they mean now, because the first day takes quite a long time because it's introducing all these mechanics and stuff. Let's recall the past a bit, because that doesn't seem to advance time, from what I can tell. I reach for another memory out of that jumbled grab bag. There are things I sometimes remember from that night that cannot happen. Impossible things. If I concentrate, I can recall... I heard Grizz say something about her family name. Let's learn more about Grizz. Grizz was eating a cold dinner. There wasn't a hot one that night. But Horatia was determined that we had to eat. Grizz and I have both been lodging at Horatia's since before the fall, but at first we didn't speak much. She kept her distance then. She's become much friendlier since the Pipistrellian vengeance, whatever that is. Pipistrelles are a type of bat. Not sure what that applies to, though.
No question of lighting the stove today, I'm sorry to say. I found a few things in the larder.
Those few things would be worth a fortune now. She had the end of a loaf of bread, a roast joint we hadn't finished, a cheddar with the wax covering still on.
The jelly deal's barely been touched, plenty to go round.
In fact, I think Grizz mentioned her family briefly. When the sky got dark, a grim reference.
Are you concerned for your parents? You can visit them in the morning, perhaps?
No.
I could go with you if you want, or Archie would escort you, I dare say. That might be better.
If the Everley townhouse were to slide sideways into the Thames, I would not be going to investigate. You can hear our boy howling in the background. He's very concerned. Alright, well, I barely got any clothes to change. Heading outside, we've still got the same choices, really. So in Thrall Street, no. What does that money symbol mean? Does it mean there's stuff to buy, or I don't know. I think. Tell you what, let's drop our stuff off at Pages. Then I want to probably go to the market. There I can question shopkeepers, and also maybe buy a new outfit or something. Yeah, let's do census Pages because I need the cash really. Okay. I was satisfied with that. Business before pleasure. Nonetheless, this time I want to make sure I visit while she is also there. So I invite myself to accompany her while she walks to work.
We require more stories for the bazaar. Our current catalogue is too small.
Too small?
Far too small.
We have all the romantic accounts from the census.
Too short. Oh, too self-similar. A person was married and widowed. A person fell in love, was rejected and married another. Oh, where is the screaming in such an account?
Turn the moment to humour. Oh, Mr. Pages, they're English. When they wish to scream, they say that they were quite put out. Besides, if you want more colourful stories, there are the novels.
London's novels have been disappointing.
Ask Grizz what she would do. We don't want to blame her. What would you do then, Grizz? If we cannot prepare everything that is needed, we should prepare for the failure instead.
Oh, this sounds displeasing.
What will happen if there are not enough stories or they are not satisfactory?
We will not immediately escape from here. London will not be restored.
Ask about the food supplies. Will we run out of food? Are there not enough stores?
No, stores can be supplied.
Ask about the rising crime. And the criminal population may become too dangerous.
This is not a concern to me.
So in other words, if you don't find enough stories, you will then spend longer in their collection.
Yes.
And that's all.
That is not all. I have promisificated and guarantorated that the paper supplies of London will provision applicate.
More slowly.
I will be mocked. I will be humiliated. I will be shamed among the other masters. I assured them when we chose London rather than another city, we said it was for her books, for her collection, for her wealth, a hoard of printed things.
Apologies, his voice made me cough.
Mr. Fires alleged that this was a personal greed, but I assured them that I acted in the good of all.
I see.
Yes.
So the serious matter before us is that you helped to see to the sinking of London. Yourself. It was your own choice. And now you want us to help you prove that it was not a vain decision.
Yes.
Oh, I need some air. Let's confront him. So you are London's enemy. How many people did you kill on the night of the fall? How many people have died since?
It was not me alone. I do not rule. I obey.
Stare at it in mute distress. The horror is too great to speak.
You are smaller than you think. Nanominimal pipquack. Wingless, veinless, unitongued soft-lump. You do not oversit our kind. You have no withstanding to adjudicate. Return to me your badge of the ministry. You are no longer one of us.
Oh. I do not stay longer. There is no more to say. Oh dear. How do I make money now then? I've been fired. Oh, it's getting late, so I'm heading home. Can I do stories? Do we know more about him now? How do I sort of edit the ones we've done? Can I edit the ones that we've done? I don't know. Go straight to dinner, I suppose. Hoarded written word. Okay.
Did you see that woman, the one that came yesterday, asking for doctoring?
Aye. What should it be but nightmares again? Ask about her complaint. Who is she? Our captain's wife. Her husband was at sea when London came down. She dreams that he comes back to her, but he's nae the same when he does. He's devoted himself to the Fathom King and cannot speak, only sing.
Could you do anything, love?
Now you've only a dram of laudanum left, and nae more for a few days.
Oh, there's fuel enough for the moment if you need to start a new tincture.
Aye, there's something else I've been brewing up, so to say. But in case it didn't work, aye. He takes something out of his pocket, a lump wrapped in paper or leaves, just long enough for Horatia to see. Opium.
Goodness. Well, wherever you got it, don't let anyone see it before you've had a chance to use it.
No one speaks for a moment.
I have a confession. I saw an enormous tentacle in the basement not so long ago. I didn't tell you and the others because I thought it might put you off the house. And it didn't seem a great danger. That is, it wasn't doing anything, other than stealing the odd supplies now and then. Seemed a lazy thing, really. Grew a bit fond. Now I hear tell there's been a man made of tentacles seen, bold as brass. Heard it from a few sources beyond Mrs. Bessham's witterings. Lurking in the dark where the caves have opened on the south bank.
Ask her what the problem is. It's not doing any harm, is it?
Not yet, but give it time. I'm watching it like one of those birds with the beaks. It'll come to me. But there's one of me, and I daren't leave it alone too long. A couple of the neighbours have mentioned a sinkhole when they've stopped by for tea. Caves below the streets by the south bank. Movement in the depths. Coils slithering in the gaslights. So it's not just us, it seems.
Except there may be a connection. Stranger things have happened.
Haven't they just? Mrs. Besom came in for a chinwag on her day off yesterday. Said jewels had been spied falling from the roof. Naturally, she got there too late to see any herself. But she had a good look round the parlour before I saw her out. I don't know that there's a connection between our basement and these caves, but best be on your guard. Trouble comes from below down here.
Oh, weird. If anyone knows the way to this place, it'll be Harjit. I guess we eat. I chew diligently. When they got hungry, people turned inventive. All the pigeons around St. Paul's they caught and plucked. More than one society lapdog was turned to stew. There are no more mushrooms on my plate. Let's review the day. That didn't go the way I thought it was going to. Let's look at the acquaintances now. So pages. Yeah, it's an antagonist relationship now. So no, Professor Flirty has failed in romancing Mr. Pages by the look of it. I don't know how I'm going to save up more money now I've got fired. Is there any point going to the Landaus with Grizz in tow now? Because I've been sacked. I'll do one more. These are going pretty quick. Another morning, another newspaper. The headlines today read, population of rats and spiders in London said to have tripled overnight. More food. Let's build a story then. Okay, what about this? Why is it unknown? Hoped for power. What? How can I say that he was stealing? I don't know. I was hoping to say that they've been like doing it to save books and stuff, but I don't know why we can't draw on that. Why can't I just make up a story? I know. Maybe we should. Maybe we should talk to Grizz about. Change out. Yeah, so we'll put our lapel pin back on. Maybe we should talk to Grizz about the ministry stuff. Oh, I can't do that now. Not much point going to the market. Can we go back to the bazaar? Do we just turn up and hand them in? We can try. I would like a bit more money. Maybe we can make up with Mr. Pages. When I arrive, Mr. Pages raises its head and looks at me without saying anything.
You are no longer a clerk of this ministry. You have relegated your badge, yet you return.
Silence falls.
I require tutelage. How does one pursue a romantic interest in London? What are the methodiquettes?
Suggest gifts. Usually one sends some small token.
Coin?
Ask whether that's usual among Mr. Page's kind. Do you send coins as a rule when courting?
One has sent the fruits of the hunt sometimes. Other times, the dagger. Not for many years.
Oh, we do not send coin.
Curious. The bazaar has many currencies. Coin for regret, and coin for folly, and coin for errors yet to be committed. None of these are accepted?
No.
Oh, the seven-sided coin of Irem?
Probably not. Suggest more suitable gifts. Flowers or foods were common once, they might still be. The adventurers sometimes gave pets.
Food and pets. A Blemican?
Say yes at random. Yes, certainly. Not to ask me to discover. Yes, discover whether Mr. Pages is talking about me. Are you speaking of me?
No.
Take it well. Oh, it's good to have cleared that up.
Oh, good.
Ask what the census is for. What are you doing with the census information?
A countification is its own reward.
I don't want to make him angry again. Yeah, demonstrate some doubts. So you enjoy having a great deal of paperwork? For its own sake?
Yes. Numerous and well-ordered accountings. Many sizes and shapes of papers. Many handwritings. You should attend the ministry frequently. Your presence is satisfaculant. If you have secrets to confide, I will also listen to them, especially if they pertain to heart matters. But even if they do not.
Accept and plan to befriend Mr. Pages. We can build on this. We can bring it back. I would like that.
I have written this appointment in the book. Do not deviate from obedience to this plan. Grizz has suggested that the agents of the ministry should appear respectable. Moreover, that black is a respectable color of clothing. I have obtained an article. It was not made with Mr. Vales's wares. I hope this will not give offense. Mr. Vales should not be given the measure of you.
Oh, a black coat. Suitable for funeral processions and the attendance of graves. Wearing it makes me more conscious of grim truths, but also better able to lend comfort. Cool. That leaves me time for another errand today. Okay, we didn't get any money, but we made a little bit of progress with Mr. Pages. All right, where else might we go? Okay, we can't go back there today. Okay, that's only for sale items now, so there's not much point. Yeah. We could continue to seduce Archie, maybe. We can try and find the cave, or maybe let's see what happens if we introduce Grizz to Rachel Landau, because Rachel maybe knows a little bit about what's going on down here. She had that map stuff before, didn't she? I'm going to change, actually. Let's change into the black coat that we have now, because this... the corsage is startlingly vulgar. Yeah, let's try the black coat. We put the hat on as well. No, that looks silly. Alright. Boasting. Why not? That'll do. I can't remember her voice now.
It's not a good day for a call, I'm afraid. The master's not feeling his best. I'm sure he'll be in better form tomorrow if you want to visit then.
Please leave our wishes for his improved health and our regards to Miss Landau.
I will do that, Miss,
Grizz fishes in her pockets and produces a visiting card. I didn't know she possessed such a thing.
Thank you, Miss Smith.
That didn't take up too much time. I just have time for another errand. Okay, so because... That's good. So because that didn't work out, I can fit something else in. I wonder why they... oh well. Well, let's see. Let's get Harjit to show me a route to these tentacle cave things. Yeah, that's fine.
Professor, it's good to see you.
Flirt with Harjit. We were destined to meet. If London hadn't fallen, we would have met on the surface instead. I'm sure of it. It had to be.
If you said such a thing to me at home, I'd know what it meant, and what it didn't. But here, people aren't allowed to say what they want. And as a result, any comment sounds like it could be a declaration.
For a moment, nobody says anything.
There's nothing amiss at Mrs. Chapman's, is there? Nothing has happened to Archibald?
Archie's family's in Scotland. Everyone says that only London fell below, but Archie's afraid that something happened to them too. Ask neutrally whether Harjit has feelings for Archie. If you'll forgive my succumbing to curiosity, do you have feelings for Archie?
My affections are engaged elsewhere.
Harjit doesn't meet my eye. Harjit shakes his head as though to clear away some thought.
So many families passed in the fall. So many others vanished afterwards. Perhaps they have all packed their things and gone to some other part of the city. Perhaps something more terrible has happened.
Oh. Alright, well, let's ask about new destinations. Let's do the Cavern of Tentacle Creatures. Do you know how to get to the Cavern of Tentacled Creatures?
I believe I know what you mean.
Harjit shows me the way, as he did before. At certain points, he makes me look up at the stalactites above and fix their relationship in my mind. They sparkle with something other than stars.
Don't treat the stars like constellations. They do not stand still.
New location, the Warrens of Amber. A warren of brooding tunnels and resinous deposits. Harjit takes me as far as the cavern entrance and suggests I watch my back. The descent is steep, the caverns lightless and treacherous. I walk in the dripping dark for a very long time. Has anyone else ever been this way? Will I ever return? Until at last a light. I don't know what sort of voice this will be. What are you doing down here? Crashing about in the dark like an escaped sorrow spider. My friend and I heard you from miles below. The sound was vexing him. And, more importantly, vexing me. Ask if she is a fellow Londoner. Are you from around these parts? I am not native to the caves, if that is your question. I can also assure you I do not come from your fetid city, though I have learned your ungainly language. Nor did I sprout from the flowers like a hero of old. I have been here a very long time. Barkajin. My name is Barkajin. I used to be a person of consequence. My city predates yours, though it is now gone. Yours fell on it. But I do not hold it against you. The fourth city had already gone to the dogs, and worse. Well, we're going to compliment her appearance after these many centuries. And you don't look a day over 30. Ha! Your usual line? Adjusted upward and downwards according to the self-awareness of the recipient, no doubt. I ceased to count the days after I Decembered to the amber vats. My appearance has become an abstraction to me. But it is good to know the rubbery men were not lying about the restorative properties. It seems best I escort you into the caverns if you mean to explore. There are things down here it would be best not to fall into. You may not take my arm. And my friend would welcome company. It saves him talking at me. She leads me deeper into the darkness. I have no idea where any of this is going. I have been watching your city for some time. I have made a few trips to the market above and bartered for what I could with what little we have. I have observed the Londoners are an excitable breed. It is in this spirit that I warn you not to be alarmed at the appearance of my friend. He cannot help it. Imagine that she is pleased to see as delightful a specimen as me. I imagine I am a welcome surprise. It was only a matter of time before Londoners came this way. Indeed, I think my friend has been relying upon it. Why are you regarding me so? Ugh. Have you been so rejected up there that you're reduced to spelunking down any cavern you find in hope of finding amorous activity? Well, I'm Professor Flirty. We go everywhere. Do not speak of this to my friend. He will not understand. His people are from far away. Or long ago. They emerged centuries ago from these caves. I do not know how deep their roots run. They do not resemble us. They do not think like us. They do not act like us. But they do not mean to harm us. It is not far now. She leads me through dark and twisting caverns for a very long time. It feels like days. Oh. This is Batachikan. It is not his name, but what he has permitted me to call him. Names are unknown to his people. He is a man of surpassing flexibility. Perhaps rubbery man is the more suitable translation. Though of course he is not a man, but he has insisted upon the masculine. I have not wished to dispute this. Ask how accurate the title surpassing flexibility is. And that title is because he is made of tentacles. I suggest you cast any other unfortunate possibilities from your mind. But Batachikan does not seem displeased. I refuse to translate that. You are the first to venture down here, though secrecy has grown harder and harder of late. Batachikan insisted we get as close to the surface as we could. I told him it was only a matter of time, and I was right. Batachikan makes a series of plangent honks. The gesture is obvious, the surface. There are others of his kind, many, in deeper places than here. They sheltered me from the dissolution of my city. They have sent us from the vats to be their emissaries. I have been his eyes and ears while we waited to see what would become of your new city. I have even learnt your language. What under heaven happened there? Such an ugly polygamous tongue. Polygamous tongue. Ah, I believe we have tea. Will you take a cup? Batachikan makes a series of frantic honks as though to dissuade me. Take the opportunity to make eyes at Barkajin over the cup. It's all in how I do it. A cocked finger, a flash of tongue, an exhale a fraction too long. I see manners have deteriorated in our absence. The general idea is to drink the tea, not deprave it. Professor Flirty depraves his beverages. He wishes to... I had mosaic tiles somewhere for the difficult ones. Bear with me, as that cheating costermonger at the market says. Batachikan approaches with a plaintive burbling. He extends a tentacle. He wants me to take it. Accept the tentacle, with intent. I held the tentacle for a fraction too long. That's the Flirty special. Batachikan makes a resonant warble, deeper than any I've heard from him. I imagine it sounding a bit like Dr. Zoidberg. Sort of noise. I have it. That noise means a recumbrance is desired, but not... Oh. I see that I am superfluous. That shall be my epithet. Superfluous Barkajin. Barkajin is still for a moment, then she rolls her eyes. Very well, I do recall this one. I accept the apology. Batachikan makes a plangent noise like a duck being deflated. I think this indicates contentment. This is followed by a series of trilling ululations. I'm not going to try those. No, I would not ask that on a first visit. She glances at me. Perhaps if our new friend were to come again, they might indicate by so doing that they are willing to entertain a request of such viscosity. Ooh, Professor Flirty likes the sound of that. The conversation waits on Barkajin. They watch me depart. I sense they wish I had stayed, but were too cautious to ask. Perhaps they might welcome another visit in future. Well, I think that went particularly well. It is a long and treacherous road back through the caves. At this point, I go back to Horatia's. Let's go straight to table. In our formal frock coat. Pined for surface, mist family, Barkajan, Batachikan.
I don't know where the others have got to. They do know when supper is served.
Good evening. I'm looking for Archibald. Is he here?
Archie? He's upstairs. Listen,
Yes?
I know all the old maps have been outlawed, but if you've come for his atlas, do you think you could leave it with him? It gives him a lot of comfort remembering all those little villages in Scotland where his family used to live.
Put in a good word for his map collection. Yes, leave Archie his maps. He's not doing any harm with them.
That isn't why I'm here.
Let them call Archie downstairs. I go to the foot of the stairs and call for Archie.
Hey, Harjit, I hope you're well. I'm sorry, Archibald. I'm here in the line of duty. It's about David Landau. Did something happen to him? I only saw him today. Shortly after your visit, he died by poisoning.
Died? Oh, the poor man.
React with shock. What? But I saw him very recently.
Oh, may he rest peacefully.
I'm sorry to have to bring you this news.
Is Rachel all right? Is there anyone with her to protect the house?
She said you were the last person to speak with David. That the fatal dose must have come from you.
I don't understand.
There was an inquest, and the jury found against you. I'm here to arrest you for murder.
Wait a moment. I knew it was just time till summit went awry. There's too many folks ill, and can I cure the whole town?
Ask where Harjit is taking Archie. Where are you taking him?
Newgate Prison was destroyed in the fall. For the time being, prisoners are held in the HMS Ungulate.
Aye, sounds like a very insalubrious environment. Cold, damp, infested with vermin. Breathing the vapours of the Thames. It might not be good for the health of the prisoners.
You're not talking your way out that way.
No, nay, I mean, if you don't mind, before we set out, I'd like to collect a few doses of this and that. Things that might help to settle bad lungs and prolonged coughs.
You're asking whether before we go, you can be allowed to rearrange your collection of drugs? And bring some of those drugs with you.
It isn't quite how I'd have phrased it, but...
When you stand accused of murdering a man through the use of potent toxins.
Oh.
For the sake of your future guards and cellmates, I think I must refuse.
Ask if Rachel's alright. How is Rachel doing? Does she have anyone with her?
There's her housekeeper, Phoebe, and some friends from her community. They're preparing the body for burial. It can't be left unburied very long.
Ask where he's being buried. Where are they burying him?
They mean to take him to a Jewish graveyard at Ball's Pond. Rachel said there might be a dispute with their Spanish relatives, that their mother was buried somewhere else. But she did not think it would change the outcome.
I guess we're letting Archie go.
Horatia, I'll be back as soon as I can. Don't let out my room to anyone else. Oh, we won't. Don't fret. We'll get to the bottom of it. Maybe Grizz's high-placed friends at the ministry will come in handy. It'll be a good thing if they did.
There's still dinner on the table, but Horatia doesn't have much appetite. HMS Young Ungulate. Which means a hoofed mammal, doesn't it? A foreboding former warship converted into a brooding prison hulk. There's still dinner... Oh yeah, we've read that. I think... Let's just go straight to sleep. Plots within plots within plots. 264 days since the fall. I'm going to continue because I need it to autosave before I can stop playing. For a moment after waking, I forget what happened last night. Then it comes back to me, the sight of Archie being taken away. Horatia staring at a plate of uneaten pie, the rest of the evening strange as it was, and then stumbling back to my own bed. There is no mention of Archie's arrest in the morning's newspaper. I don't believe Archie did it. Whatever the truth might be, I don't think that's it. They're looking to put the right person in the hands of the law, sure. What will become of London if we don't take some measures to see the right people punished? Find out how David's relations are reacting to his death. Okay. This may be a distracting business. I doubt I'll be able to gather funds for Horatia now. I set aside the thought of repayment any time soon. Horatia hasn't been asking for the money, therefore she can most likely manage without it. And she of all people must understand how everything has changed now. Let's keep the exposés thing, we never know. Might be able to do that. Alright, saved. This time. Okay, so we're going to leave it there for now. When we come back, we'll pick it up from here. I'm just going to say thanks very much for watching this episode of Mask of the Rose. I hope you've enjoyed it. Bit of intrigue coming into it now with the murder, obviously. I'm not sure whether the Mr. Page's kicking us out of the ministry thing was scripted or whether it was because of the particular dialogue path I took with him. But it seems that we can still go there and talk to him, and maybe we can still flirt with him as well. We will find out. But yeah, if you did enjoy it, as I hope you did, please hit the thumbs up button on the video and leave a comment as well. Always great to hear what you guys are thinking and everything else really about this playthrough. Every little bit of interaction helps the channel to get noticed and to grow, so it's always very, very appreciated. And lastly, if you're watching this and haven't already subscribed to the channel, it would be amazing if you would do so. It'd be great to have you around. So thanks very much once again, and I'll hopefully see you next time on Boring Dad Gaming for more Mask of the Rose. Bye for now.